Learn what steps you can take to prevent carjacking.
See how the Humane Society is trying to reduce overcrowding.
And hear how the UA women's swim team is dealing after their coach took a leave of absence. All this and more tonight on Wildcast.
Live from the University of Arizona UA TV studio, this is Wildcast.
Welcome to Wildcast. I'm Max Efren.
And I'm Jackie Kent. Thanks for joining us tonight.
The Office of Sustainability got homecoming attendees to generate electricity on Saturday, in addition to the organization's yearly effort to cut down on the university's environmental impact.
The really great thing about doing sustainability with events is that you have a huge built-in audience. You can reach a lot of people. And so we have this tent with the bike generators powering the music video and showing some infographics about our project to bring people in, have them feel how hard it is to create power, a lot harder than flipping a switch. And to work together actually, because when everyone bikes at the same speed, you create more power.
The student-run team that managed the effort is called Project Paw Prints. Ultimately, they intend to establish best practices in event sustainability, not only for the UA, but other agencies and organizations that host large-scale events.
A recent carjacking that occurred on the U of A campus has some students wondering what they can do to prevent it from happening to them. Wildcast reporter Chelsea Hemphill has the details on how you can keep your belongings safe.
On October 30th, last Wednesday, a carjacking occurred in a U of A parking lot located on 7th Ave in Fremont. A woman had her car taken away from her by knife point, and then the car was later found outside of Tucson city limits. The woman thankfully was not harmed, and Sergeant Barrera has the latest update on what happened to the suspect.
Well, what happened is Benson Police Department, their detective unit notified our detectives of a possible suspect in their case, but it was our vehicle. And so our departments worked together and we were able to identify a suspect who was responsible for the robbery.
Some basic preventative steps against burglary and car theft are doing simple things such as hiding your belongings and even getting out of the car and locking it.
Some vehicles, say you're going to the gym, you're going to leave your purse inside your car, always put it in the trunk, cover it with a towel if you're going to leave it in the cab. And you also want to pick your parking spot.
So I don't leave anything on the seat or anything exposed to avoid temptation.
Statistics quoted from TucsonAZ.gov state that some places that have higher rates of vehicle theft are Walmart and Valencia, Tucson Mall, and Park Place Mall.
According to TucsonAZ.gov, some of the top cars that are stolen in the city of Tucson are Honda Civics, Accords, and motorcycles, and Chevy Malibus and Silverados.
According to KOLD, Lieutenant J.D. Huff, who is with the Arizona Auto Theft Authority, stated that police run wanted checks and registration checks on a large amount of vehicles to make sure they aren't stolen. I am Chelsea Hemphill reporting from the University of Arizona. This is Wildcast.
And we hear about theft all the time. It's not that uncommon. I even had a roommate who had not something stolen from her car, but a bike seat stolen on campus.
No, all the time. Actually, right out of my car, I had an iPod stolen. They rolled down the window, they never even put it up the next morning.
But what if it rains?
You're telling me, right?
So inconsiderate.
With social media sites like Twitter and Facebook available at the touch of a button, students are finding that privacy is becoming less and less easy to maintain. Wildcast reporter Chelsea Moe has an inside look at how technology is making secrets much harder to keep.
Some students complain that in this day and age there's not enough privacy. This is because of number one, cell phones being at everyone's fingertips. Cell phones are equipped with cameras as well as recorders. And number two, websites like The Dirty, Facebook, UA Confessions, and Twitter. Students have to be more careful than ever before.
It means that our generation just has to be a little more careful than those of our parents and their parents and such. Just because everything we do can end up on the internet, and that could definitely affect our futures.
It has happened to some students where a picture appears of them on Facebook or other websites, and it is forever on the web. Students don't always think in the moment of whether something posted is appropriate or not, and if this post will affect their future. It takes students only seconds to post something to the web. This is not enough time for someone to realize what they are doing. With technology and cell phones at every student's fingertips, people need to be careful of their actions. Many students have been victims of websites such as The Dirty, UA Confessions, or a new site called UA Makeouts. Sometimes these students don't even realize their picture has been posted.
A couple of my friends have, yeah. It's just unfortunate, really, that has to happen.
Students need to be careful with so much technology at everyone's fingertips. I'm Chelsea Moe, reporting for Wildcast.
We have new updates about the devastation in the Philippines following that massive typhoon that hit last week. The death toll from Typhoon Haiyan stands at more than 900, but officials fear that number could climb to more than 10,000. More numbers for you. Nearly 700,000 others have been displaced. Tens of thousands of homes have been wiped away. Decomposing bodies lie under twisted rubble, and survivors are scrambling to find food, water, and medicine. Assistance is just beginning to arrive. The United Nations said it released about $25 million in emergency funds. Locally, WorldCare is accepting monetary donations to help support the relief effort.
Stay with us after the break for a look into this week's upcoming weather.
I'm Derek Williams, the former U of A Wildcat. You're watching UA TV. Don't change the channel.
People may tune out someone they see on a median trying to sell newspapers.
Those extra few hours of having to swipe your CAT card to get in at night might be keeping non-U of A students out of the library.
And while some are traveling to Mexico for cheaper gas, others are forced to pay those high prices at the pump.
Students and parents are always invited to come cheer on the Wildcats.
We'll see you back here next week for another edition of Wildcast.
Welcome back. We'll now turn over to Shay Sorensen for a look at this week's upcoming weather. Shay.
Good evening, Wildcats. It's going to be another warm week with high daytime temperatures well above average. Today's high was 87, which is not fall-like whatsoever. This is due to a ridge that is comfortably sitting over the western United States, and as a result, we can expect temperatures to stay in the low 80s through Thursday. But then that ridge slowly starts getting pushed on out of here, and the trough will dig down to the southwest. So we'll be getting some cooler temperatures filtered down from the north on Friday, with a normal average high of 75 degrees. On Saturday, you can expect mostly sunny skies with a high again at 75. Moving on to Sunday, temps will decrease to 72 with mostly cloudy skies, and Monday looks like it will be about the same minus a degree. So don't worry, fall is right around the corner, and it doesn't look like we'll be getting back into the 80s for a while. It's safe to say that you can leave your fall and winter clothes out starting this weekend. It's been a little bit confusing the past few weeks with some cold days and some really hot days, but fall weather is on its way and it wants to stay. That is all I have for you, Wildcats, and enjoy the rest of your week.
Thank you, Shay. We're about halfway through Native American Heritage Month, and the UA still has quite a few events lined up. The university is home to one of the largest Native American student populations in the Southwest. More than 1,000 students identify themselves as belonging to one of the many Arizona-based Native nations. The UA is hosting several talks in celebration of the month, including one on November 20th by renowned World War II code talker Thomas Begay. The next event will be a tribal leadership panel this coming Thursday in the Student Union starting at 5:30. For a full list of events, you can go to our Facebook page at UATV3.
There are more than 40,000 stray dogs and cats that do not have a place to call home. The Tucson Humane Society takes many of these animals, but are constantly battling overcrowding. Wildcast reporter Katya Hall has the details on recurring events they host in hopes of stemming that problem.
This weekend, Tucsonans had the opportunity to pocket any dog or cat for free. Anyone could go to the Humane Society and do a meet and greet with an animal. If they thought they were going to get along, then they could adopt them. An estimated 2.7 million healthy dogs and cats in shelters are still waiting to be adopted. Adopted animals can have a significant impact on a student's life. Josh Ayub shares his experience with his adopted cat, Lexus.
I feel that animals are a very important part in people's lives. It gives them a sense of security and being able to have a friend that's always close by, and they're 100% reliable on you, so they really look up to you and want to be with you all the time.
60% of animals come into a shelter because of financial hardship. Factors such as medical care, food, toys, and also finding time to exercise the animal can all add up pretty fast. But there are other ways besides adopting an animal that students can help out at the Humane Society. The Humane Society's Samantha Esquivel gives her advice on ways that students can contribute to the Humane Society.
At the Humane Society, we have an abundant amount of different volunteer opportunities that people can take advantage of. Say they like to do photography, or they like to walk dogs, or even if they'd like to be a foster parent where they take care of an animal for a couple of weeks, not permanently, until they can get up on their feet again and be adopted. There's just so many different outlets at the Humane Society, and we welcome anybody of any age, really, with any time schedule.
Since as a nonprofit 501c3, the Humane Society gets absolutely no funding from the government. So volunteers are the backbone of the organization, and it's really what keeps the facility up and running.
All dogs need to be walked at least once a day, and U of A students, if they aren't able to adopt and would like to have a dog, they can get their fix by coming and walking the dogs.
Reporting for Wildcast, I'm Katya Hall.
It's hard not to feel bad for those little guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And, this center always has deals like this, either no adoption fee or reduced adoption fee, so it's a really good deal.
Absolutely. The Pima Animal Care Center now has a temporary solution for its overcrowding shelter. The Pima County Board of Supervisors unanimously approved a measure that will provide more than $400,000 to the center. More than half of those funds will go towards extra staff, and the rest will be for a tent to house the overflow of pets. This tent will be 100 by 60 feet and will house 100 kennels to help separate the animals. PACC officials say up to 4 pets are in each kennel at any given time. The board pointed out that this is just a temporary measure.
Stay with us after the break to hear a quick sports rundown. We'll be right back.
All right, it's David Hasselhoff, the Hawk. Get Hawk with UATV. Stay tuned. Don't change the dial.
Welcome back. The UA football team recently took some time away from the field to visit Diamond Children's Center at UAMC. They do this several times a month to give back to the community that supports them. They surprise the kids with jars full of treats and toys assembled by volunteers from the group Shine On Tucson. The players say they're happy just to put smiles on the kids' faces.
The University of Arizona women's swim team has managed to stay focused this semester even without a head coach. Wildcast News reporter Cordero McMurray has a look at how they've been training.
The University of Arizona's women's swim team gets ready for a tough swim meet against UCLA for homecoming.
If we could get a top 5 finish at NC2As, that would be an extremely successful season for us. So that would be the goal.
Without a head coach, the team still remains focused and strives for a successful season by working hard.
UCLA English Chopper wins the 100 breast for Arizona. Sarah Moore named second.
Our training cycles and our systems, they've stayed pretty much the same. I think the changes we've made are trying to get more of a team atmosphere and get these people swimming for something more than themselves. Getting them to team up is like crucial, and that's what we're working on.
The U of A Wildcats swam hard and won against the tough UCLA Bruins. Their next meet is home November 9th against USC for their second homecoming meet. From the University of Arizona for Wildcast News, I'm Cordero McMurray.
And now we'll be turning over to sports reporter Chelsea Moe for a look at this week's sports rundown. Chelsea.
Hi Wildcats. Arizona women's soccer shut out Arizona State on November 7th at Murphy Field. This victory earned Arizona a point in the Territorial Cup Series as the team moved to 9-7-4 overall and 4-6-1 in Pac-12 play. The men's basketball team rolled right over Long Beach State on Monday night, winning 91-57. Freshman Aaron Gordon had 14 points and 10 rebounds, and Brandon Ashley added 16 points. Men's basketball will play San Diego State on Thursday, November 14th at 8:05 p.m. Arizona football may not have been able to beat UCLA this past Saturday. However, Arizona football specialists Drew Riggleman and Jake Smith earned College Football Performance Award honors. The Wildcats return to action this Saturday, November 16th against Washington State at 12 p.m. at Arizona Stadium. That's all in sports. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Chelsea. As always, thanks for tuning in to Wildcast. You can watch us anytime online at uatv.arizona.edu or on our YouTube channel, UATVCH3.
We'll see you next week for another edition of Wildcast. Good night.